What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. We are continuing the team of Seacaucus teams, and this time we are using this really fun Palkia Zacian team built by Jacob Lintner. He was my opponent in round 3, and he recently started uploading to YouTube, so definitely make sure to give him a subscribe and check out his channel. Also make sure to subscribe to me. We are working our way towards 1 billion subscribers, and we really can't get there without you. So talking a little about the team, like I said, it is going to be a Palkia Zacian team. I think it is sort of a really cool take on it, which a lot of really fun tools to make this team stand out. So first of all, we do have Amoonguss. So Amoonguss pretty standard. I do like the use of Mental Herb, just being able to stop some pesky taunts from prankster users like Whimsicott. So that can really make a difference. And it also does have Seed Bomb. So one thing people have recently experimented with is using Seed Bomb on Amoonguss because of the fact that it hits Kyogre very hard. So just having that ability to, in some cases, 2-hit KO Kyogre definitely can make a really big difference. Next up, we do have Palkia. Palkia, once again, really standard here. It does have Trick Room for setting that up if we need be. This team has both a really fast and a really slow mode. So I do like the flexibility in that. Palkia is pretty standard. We do have a good amount of speed and a lot of bulk, actually. Taking advantage of the Life Orb to make up for some of the bulk or for some of the damage output, and being able to invest that more in bulk, I think is really great. So hopefully we can utilize the strength of that. Next up is Incineroar. Once again, a pretty standard Incineroar, really not much to say here. It is pretty specially bulky, so hoping that plays a big role. Also Safety Goggles. I'm very partial to Safety Goggles Incineroar. I'm glad other people are too. Next up, we do have Zacian. So once again, really bulky, but also pretty fast Zacian. I think that's really cool. It is going to speed creep some of those Zacians designed to outspeed Regieleki at +1. I do like Substitute, and I think Play Rough over Sacred Sword is an interesting choice. I think it does help with some matchups that I know Sacred Sword has caused me to struggle into. So hopefully we can see how that plays out. Next up, we do have Defiant Thunderous, pretty standard. With the Assault Vest, you're able to take some really big hits. I think you can survive a Wildfire from Charizard. So that's actually really cool, being able to set up in the face. Also, you do have Brick Break, which means that Thunderous is going to be useful outside of Max, right? Being able to get rid of things like screens. I know Lapras has seen some usage recently, so having an option for that is really cool. And then finally, we have Grimmsnarl. Very standard. Grimmsnarl does what Grimmsnarl wants. It just sets up screens. It goes for Spirit Breaks if need be. We all know what it does. So here's the team. We do have the paste in the description. Definitely make sure to check out Jacob's channel. He is just a really great person, and I'm really excited to see the content he puts out. And with that, let's just get rocking and rolling and move into the first game. All right, battle number 1, and it is Hyper Offense. It is Specs Calyrex, Scarffoot Kyogre, Weezing, Regigigas, Whimsicott, and Physical Regieleki. So the big question is, what is my opponent going to go for? I don't know if Thunderous can take both a double up from Specs Ogre and Calyrex even while maxed. So I think I have to go Zacian in Thunderous here. I could go Zacian Palkia. I think that's the safest option. Palkia being able to take Ogre hits, I think a little bit better, makes it worthwhile. It is going to be tricky, though, because of the fact that we aren't going to be able to do speed control. We're just going to be able to go for some damage. But I think that that gives us the most flexibility. What else do we want here? I think... let's do Grimmsnarl Incin in the back. I don't feel super good about it, but I don't think it's the end of the world, right? If you go for Regigigas Weezing, we are good for that. I think if you go for Calyrex with Calyrex with Regieleki or Kyogre, we're good for that too. We are going to see Regigigas Weezing. That's fine with me. I'm wondering if it's worth setting up a sub and going for damage into the Regigigas, right? Or, you know, we can just go on the off. I think it's fine to set up sub. That way, if you try and protect Regigigas, this actually, Regigigas has Wide Guard. It doesn't have protect. So I think that that's cool. I would like to set up a no, let's just go for damage. Let's just go for the Behemoth Blade, as well as the Max Wormwind. I think that that's just going to be sort of our best bet. We do have to obviously be a little bit worried about the Calyrex and Kyogre in the back. So I do want to be able to set up some Max Quakes at some point, right? Just to be able to tank those hits. But what's nice is you are committing your Max to Regigigas, which means you're going to have to use spread damage, and I think that that can really play a role. And also, if we can get rid of Weezing, that does open up the possibility for getting rid of Weezing does open up the possibility for me to go for Grimmsnarl. So I think that that's huge. One thing we could have actually done is gone for a Trick Room, expecting to see a Quake into Zacian. So saying, hey, we're just going to kind of set up around you, which I think would have been fine. I think this is still a good option because Palkia just offers a lot of damage output, as we are going to see no max from the Weezing. So, I mean, the Regigigas. So basically giving us the Regigigas, I think we are going to unfortunately lose or get burned on the Zacian, which isn't the worst thing in the world, as we are going to see a Giga Impact still doing 50% to a max Palkia. So that is really bad, for lack of better words. And more importantly, it means you still can preserve your max for something else, like your Calyrex or Kyogre, which are in the back, which is scary to think about. As we are going to see Will-O-Wisp, we do get really lucky in the fact that they are going to miss the Will-O-Wisp onto Zacian, so that does let us maintain our damage control. So I think we're in a really good spot. I'm not sure if they meant to go for a max with the Regigigas and they just misclicked, but either way, I am happy with the situation. I think though they do want to try and preserve that damage as much as possible. I do want to go for a Protect with the Zacian here, as well as a Max Quake onto this Kyogre if you choose to not max and just go for a Water Spout, right? I just want to sort of weaken that and get some extra boosts onto the Zacian. As once again, we are going to see no max here, so we are going to see the Scarf go for, a Water Spout onto both. Also, the Weezing is choosing not to go for damage. I mean, the Weezing is choosing not to go for Protect, which I think is interesting. It's a very interesting choice for sure. Interested to know like why. At this point though, that your Kyogre is at half, so I want to say a Play Rough from Zacian should be able to get the KO. As we're going to see a Sludge Bomb come out from the Weezing. Once again, doing not very much. We are also lucky to not get poisoned. I'm going to go for a Play Rough onto the Kyogre, as well as a Quake onto it as well. Just saying, hey, if we... okay, so they are going to cancel. I think that that's fine, right? We were setting up for the Calyrex endgame, and I think just really able to put on constant pressure helped out. I think they did want to go for a max with their Regigigas, and it just didn't work out, which is really the only thing in my mind that makes sense. Yeah, so, I mean, the team, like I said, is standard. It is Specs Calyrex. It is Choice Scarf Kyogre. This is just a very hyper offense team. Sash on the Weezing, so we were just kind of leaving it alone. Regigigas, yeah, it's all pretty standard at this point. Whimsicott trying to set up that Tailwind, and then the physical Regieleki. So, overall, just a really good first game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is going to be Zacian Kyogre, the pretty standard 6, just with Thundurus over Zapdos. So Zacian Kyogre, Thundurus, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Grimmsnarl. So I actually really like... Let's think about this. What do I really like here? I do like Grim Palkia. I think being able to set up is important. I think Zacian is great, and then probably Amoonguss in the back. Right? I think that makes the sort of most sense in this situation. The Amoonguss does have the ability to deal some pretty good damage into the Kyogre, right? Most are Assault Vest, so you kind of expect it to go one way, and then us being able to sort of turn that around, I think, has a lot of potential. So we'll see how this plays out. I think, though, this does give us the best chance. We do have to be a little bit wary of a Grimmsnarl on their own, as we are going to see Zacian Rillaboom. So this is tricky because of the fact that, because of the fact that this might be a play rough Zacian. That being said, I am fine to just go for damage right off the bat and go for a reflect with Grimmsnarl. So I think it's fine just to click reflect here, and then I could go for a max guard. That's actually not terrible. To max guard and then go for damage the subsequent turn. I'm going to Geyser the Zacian in the event you choose to switch out into Thunderous. We're going to see no switch here, so we very well could see, what's it called? We could see a substitute, which is fine, right? We do have access to Thunder Wave, so being able to go for paralysis and then knockout, I think is great. We are setting up an awkward position though, where my opponent will be able to max in the late game. As we are going to see, yep, the fake out going to come out here. As Zacian going to go straight for the Behemoth Blade. So you're really just not trying to deal with this Grimmsnarl. So we did actually have a pretty free attack into it. And I don't know if we will pick up the KO with Geyser, which is definitely going to be a little bit unfortunate, right? Like, just seeing the damage come out here, hoping for a knockout. Unfortunately, yeah, we're not going to get it this time. We can bring out our own Zacian to sort of start pressuring that way. But yeah, it is now going to be the unfortunate situation where you are just going to have access to, what's it called? To your Zacian for another turn. I do want to go for a Blade just into your Zacian, as well as, actually no, let's Blade the Rillaboom and go for a Quake onto, let's do this. I want to go for a Blade onto Rillaboom, as well as a Quake onto the Zacian, just trying to get some special defense boost for the incoming Kyogre. I think we should have probably gone for Quake turn 1. I just didn't want to risk it in the event that they switch to Thunderous, right? Just like wasting a turn of my max, whereas now I at least can have some increased damage output. We could see a double up into Palkia, but I don't think that that'll pick up the knockout. So we are going to see the max Rillaboom. So an interesting choice for sure. This suggests to me you might be going for a max Quake, trying to do as much damage to my Zacian as possible. So definitely something to be a little weary of. You could be doubling into the Palkia, right? Just trying to get rid of it that way. But we'll kind of see what happens. We are going to see a Behemoth Blade come out. I don't know which Zacian that is, if that's mine or theirs. Into the Rillaboom. Okay, so we are faster, so that's really good to know. Unfortunately, yeah, we are not going to pick up the knockout. We will see their Zacian go for a Blade into mine, so we are going to take quite a bit of damage here. But I think that that's not necessarily the end of the... Okay, maybe it is a little bad. Quake going to come out here onto this Zacian, get the knockout, which is a big deal. Also confirming that we are faster than the Rillaboom, so that's going to be really helpful too. Yeah, so let's kind of see what happens here. I could have, knowing the difference, I should have gone for a Blade into their Zacian and then, yeah, play that differently. We are unfortunately going to lose Zacian as a result, whereas we could have easily just KO'd their Zacian and gone for a Wyrmwind into the Rillaboom. The critical hit obviously means it's not going to matter. So at this point, it is 2-3. They still have 2 turns of Dynamax, and I have an Amoonguss, which isn't really going to do anything. But we do have the ability to fire off... oh, we can KO their Rillaboom before it's able to move. So that's also really nice. We do have Amoonguss 2 to boot, so we have the ability to put things to sleep, which can be really useful. Probably a potential Zapdos in the back, which is a little bit scary, but we can redirect any sort of moves that it wants to go for, so that is definitely helpful. As we are going to see the Kyogre. Kyogre is totally fine with me. I would very much like to just put it to sleep, as well as go for... I don't know if Quake will KO the Rillaboom, so I'm going to go for Wyrmwind onto it, just out of safety more than anything. Right, it isn't worth taking a chance. We are at +1. We are max. We are very bulky. So I feel good about that position. So just trying to put some stuff to sleep, set up accordingly. I think will really help us out here, right? Like definitely getting the Kyogre sleeping, and also we are going to be boosted. So that was a smart play on their part for sure, just going for the guard, but I think we can still put this Kyogre to sleep. We are going to take just a little bit from that Thunder. Paralysis is huge here. That is actually a very, very big deal. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, I don't know if we survive a hit now. That's actually, we seed bomb into you, and we go for the spatial rend. If we hit it, yeah, so we need to survive. We're gonna see the Rillaboom actually withdraw. I don't know how I feel about that play. I think trying to preserve it for the Grassy Glide in the end game. We are gonna see the Incin come out, so a little bit of an interesting choice there. It does kind of make sense. You are trying to, like I said, set up for Grassy Glide. We will see the Ogre fast asleep, so that's nice, being able to just fire off some damage. Spatial Rend going to come out into the Rillaboom, doing doing 50%, so that's actually really huge here. We are going to see the Citrus Berry, so that's also really cool to see, because that means, right, you don't have words, you don't have safety goggles, as we are going to do a solid chunk into the Kyogre. I think it's fine to leave the Kyogre alone, because of the fact that it's just like where it's at, it's fine. I think we can go for a Rage Powder, because if you're faking out, you're not really doing anything. So we can go for, nope, not the Spore. The Rage Powder here, as well as, I think Hydro Pump is fine. Even at this range, it should KO Rillaboom because of the rain. So if you're going for a Parting Shot, you're going to Parting Shot into Amoonguss. But, okay, so we're going to see just the safe fake out. Makes sense, right? Trying to stall out some turns. Rage Powder here, not going to matter at all. A little bit unfortunate, though, about this situation. I think at this point, we are going to be fine just to go for the same play. Kyogre is recovering a little bit, but right, like versus a Palkia and versus an Amoonguss, what are you really doing at this point? And Palkia also is still really healthy, so I do like that. I want to protect, actually, this turn. I think protect with Amoonguss, because you could go for a Flare Blitz and then go for the Hydro Pump into the Incin, right? Saying, hey, you might go for a Parting Shot or a Flare Blitz. I want to be safe either way. If we can KO the Incin, like, that's going to be a huge deal. Kyogre staying asleep, I think that's fine, right? Perfect. We did call the Flare Blitz there, which is awesome to see. Oh, we do get paralyzed. We get paralyzed, which is super unfortunate. We have to go for the double protect here and just go for the Hydro Pump into the Incineroar. Yeah, that is just unfortunate. We do miss the double protect. Kyogre is going to wake up. It is going to fire off an Ice Beam into that in Amoonguss. So this double up is going to mean that, unfortunately, we are going to go down. So yeah, really unfortunate paralysis right there. Really nothing we could have done. And then at this point, right, like, Rillaboom is going to be able to fire off 2 hits onto Kyogre, and I mean onto Palkia, and there's not anything we can do to stop it. You could just go straight for a I think you go for yeah, you go for a fake out here, followed by what's it called? Followed by an Ice Beam, and then the Grassy Glide should be enough to pick up the knockout. So I mean, really unfortunate. The paralysis just really sealing the deal. Not only is it making Palkia slower than everything, it made it so we didn't hit the attack we needed to. I don't know why I clicked Hydro Pump there. I was supposed to click Spatial Rend, but I'm still bummed. But that is just the way it is. We're going to see the fake out. It's not going to matter. We're going to see the Ice Beam come out onto Palkia, and then at this point, right, yeah, a Grassy Glide should be more than enough to pick up the knockout. We do have to take both hits before Palkia is able to move. So yeah, really unfortunate there. If we had been able to KO Rillaboom, this would have been just, I mean, Incin, this would have been a really different game, but it is just how the cookie crumbles at sometimes. yeah, forced to kind of go for redirection. We are going to see the Rillaboom protect. I think that was a smart play. Thunder is going to miss, so that's really nice. Just trying to, I guess, stall me out of my Spatial Rends, but you're also giving me more recovery, so that can sort of play a role. But either way, I don't think it's going to matter too much, right? Because you are guaranteed 2 hits into me between the Grassy Glide and the Ice Beam before I'm able to move. So yeah, definitely, just like I said, a little bit unfortunate. Having that Amoonguss would have made just a huge difference, being able to go for some redirection and put on pressure that way. Whereas now we are going to... Oh, I was like, if they miss the Thunder... Yeah, it is what it is. No use complaining about luck. I think my opponent did play very well. It's just kind of a shame that it was because of a paralysis. But, I mean, I use Grimmsnarl, so I can't really talk. But, oh well. Still a solid second battle, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is Kyogre Palkia. It is Meowstic, Celesteela with Kyogre, Indeedee Male, Palkia, and Zapdos. I don't know, but I know that Grimmsnarl Thundurus does very well here. I like Amoonguss for Amoonguss' sake, and then I like my own Palkia. I don't think that Zacian is really necessary here. It doesn't really do what I want it to do into a lot of things, and I can sort of just get more benefit from having something else. So it always feels weird to leave Zacian behind, but sometimes it just is the right thing to do. I think Thundurus as our main max option is huge. We just kind of have to see what's going to happen. Meowstic is an interesting choice for sure. I don't really know what's going to happen here. I know Meowstic has a bunch of tricks up its sleeve. I just don't know which tricks it's going to go for. We are seeing the Psychic Seed on the Indeedee Male. I want to Spirit Break the Meowstic in case it's Sash and go for a Max Lightning, so that way I can change the terrain and go for things like T-Wave. We could see, what's it called? A Trick Room. So if we see Trick Room, not the end of the world. This also makes it so my screens are staggered by a turn, right? Like, neither of these are really doing much damage into me. We could put... Oh, no, we can't see a Fake Out because of Indeedee. So we could see... Oh, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're skill swapping onto Indeedee Male for after you. Yep. So you're going to have priority attacks before I'm able to move. Indeedee Male setting up Substitute. Yeah, you're definitely going for after you shenanigans. Which is fine with me, right? You're probably just trying to stall out my max this way. Oh, you are? Okay, so Indeedee. The issue, though, is if you are faster than my Grimmsnarl, right? Because then you can set up your attack before I can. But we are Assault Vest, so that's really huge. I do expect to see... Yeah, it is after you on Male. So all that's going to happen is you're going to have priority attacks. Kyogre is going to come out here. We do have access to Light Screen, so that's going to be a big deal. And you don't have a substitute up. But like I said, we can set up a Light Screen and then just go for a Max Lightning onto this Kyogre. We should, like I said, expect to see a priority, what's it called? Priority Max move or a priority Water Spout, which is fine. It does mean that you're going to get the Water Spout off. Yeah, so we are going to lose Grim here. So we don't get any screens up as a result of me fearing the Focus Sash. And like knowing what was going to happen, but not knowing what was going to happen. But we get rid of their Kyogre. So that's a big deal, right? At this point, you should just have Palkia. And so we can bring out Amoonguss, and we can just go for redirection and then try to KO your Palkia that way. I don't know what your... Oh, it's Zapdos. God, I really should have set up the light screen. We can go for a Spore onto Zapdos, as well as a Max Lightning. This way, right, like, we do have to worry about potential safety goggles, but I don't think it's the end of the world. And right, like we just want to try and get some damage onto you as yeah, we just want to get damage onto you. We're making you choose, right? You go for Amoonguss, you take a ton of damage. We also do have Palkia, which Palkia should be able to deal with Zapdos pretty effectively. We just, like I said, have to worry about if it is Safety Goggle Zapdos. We are going to see the max here. It is going to result with another After You, which is totally fine with me. We should have set up Light Screen. I think that definitely would have made a really big difference, but it is sort of unfortunate that we don't get it. Yeah, so that was my bad for sure. We're going to see the substitute. That is also fine with me. I don't really care about this in DD. I don't think it has any damaging moves. We're going to get the lightning off as a result of moving first. So that's going to do, wow, that is 0 damage. Lightning going to come out into Thunderous. So we just need to hope that you are not Safety Goggles, as, I mean, that's huge, right? We're confirming that you're not Safety Goggles. So putting your Zapdos to sleep and really reducing the damage of your max, I think is going to be super awesome. And what we can do now is we can Seed Bomb and go for what do I want to do here? I want to Seed Bomb into you and then swap into Palkia, right? We know that you're guaranteed to stay asleep this turn, so that's really great. We can then just start going for redirection into the hits, as Zapdos going to stay asleep here. We're going to see the Indeedee go for an Expanding Force, so we know you have a way to damage it. Okay, perfect. And you go into Palkia, so even better, right? Like Amoonguss not taking any damage this turn. We are going to be able to break the sub. Like, yes, you're able to go for subs and do all these wacky shenanigans, but like, what are you actually doing at this point? You're just kind of sitting on the field. So I think it's fine to go for a Rage Powder in the event that Zapdos wakes up. And then I do want to start going for Hydro Pumps onto the Zapdos. I think if we can reduce the amount of damage it's doing, like that's, I mean, it'll obviously set us up for a really strong position. Amoonguss should be able to take an Expanding Force, right? We do have a good amount of bulk, so that's going to be important, as we're going to see a substitute. Like, that's fine, right? Like, all you're doing is lowering your own health, and I can deal with you in the end game. Hydro Pump is going to connect onto the Zapdos, getting it in the red, which is a really big deal. We are going to see the Citrus Berry, so this is going to be a bulky Roost variant, I'm guessing. So the question is, we do need to hit it this next turn, as we are going to see you fall asleep. So that's going to be really big for us, as we do now have just the ability to, oh, your max is also finished. So we are faster with Palkia, so we can just go for the Rage Powder here. I think we should go for the Spatial Rend, as to not risk the accuracy, right? Like, if we miss the Hydro Pump, you are able to Roost. Like, this suddenly becomes a much different game. We can proceed to go for those Spores, but like, still risky. We don't need to play that game, as we can just go for big damage onto the Zapdos, going to be able to pick up the knockout that way. And now at this point, right, you're going to click Expanding Force into the Amoonguss, but we can just break through that substitute, deal as much damage as we need to into that Indeedee, and really close things out. So yeah, not even a 2-hit KO, which means that we have the ability to destroy your substitute and put you to sleep, just to sort of get rid of any sort of risks or complications that may happen. So I think overall, just a really solid spot. Like I said, Spore just fine, just in case. Spatial Rend into the Indeedee slot, just to get rid of that sub. You can't KO me barring a crit, which even if you crit, like, we still have Thunderous, and like Thunderous can go for priority attacks, and what, you're gonna set up another substitute down to 1. Yeah, so glad we were able to pull that off. I think we really were able to utilize the team well. The Spore from Amoonguss was huge. I think my opponent could have targeted a little bit better. I think some of their decisions led them astray, but it still worked out for us in the end. I think they're playing for timer at this point, which, you know, is a win con, but overall, definitely make sure to check out Jacob's channel. He does a really well done team report about this team. That's actually funny. That's really funny. I actually think that's hilarious, that they after you to stop the Spore. But Yeah, we could have just gone for Seed Bomb. We didn't need to go for Spore. I just wanted to be cheeky. Let's just go for damage at this point. Yeah, but yeah, definitely make sure to check out Jacob's channel. He does a really cool in-depth team report. It's very well done and edited and everything, unlike mine, which is just me awkwardly sitting in front of a camera. So yeah, huge shout out to him for this team. Huge shout out to him for just being a great person. Make sure to subscribe to him. Like I said, make sure to subscribe to me so we can get our way to 1 billion subscribers. And we're just gonna keep waiting for my opponent to play the timer when they really don't need to. But you know, like, it is what it is. So I definitely could have played a little bit smarter though. I think that going for the Spirit Break was unnecessary. Like, even if, I mean, I guess I was worried about Meowstic going for things like Yawn or something and if it had survived. So either way, we were able to pull it off. Love to see that. We will definitely be using this team some more. So look out for future videos with it. It's going to be a really big blast. And then with that, yeah, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful and I'll see you then.